bridal show. We're here with David Feigl of Chuy's. He's the general manager in Lexington. David, could you just tell us a little bit about your restaurant?
Sure. It is completely unique. It is a Tex-Mex restaurant, not to be confused with Mexican. Tex-Mex for us comes from, obviously, the Texas area, a lot of influences from the American version, but also a little bit of Mexican food thrown in there. One thing that makes us unique is everything is fresh. We have fresh produce, the sauces are made fresh, the tortillas are made from scratch. Everything is made with so much passion, so much care. It really passes on to the guest, and that type of passion really, it just makes our guests happy and want to come back for more.
Wonderful.
Great. I keep hearing a lot of things about the special region that you guys get your green chilies from.
Sure, absolutely.
Can you tell us about that?
Sure. They're from Hatch, New Mexico, so we call them our Hatch green chilies. And in our menu, we have our green chili sauce and our Hatch sauce. Both of those, of course, being the green chilies, they are the spiciest sauces. But the region they come from is just a perfect region that fits our taste of our guests. Not too hot, but they are hot enough to add that flavor. Hatch is an area that gets a certain amount of, obviously, moisture and sun to make those peppers perfect. Now, we do have a co-op of farmers out in Hatch, New Mexico that we go to every year. They give us first dibs on their crops, and actually this past year we actually picked 1 million pounds of green chilies. 1 million pounds. So, and we only have 32 restaurants, so if you can imagine how many green chilies we use in each restaurant. So it's just a phenomenal area. We go down there. They take a group of people from Chuy's. We go down there. We harvest them ourselves. We taste them in the fields. We actually go through and say, hey, these are the ones we want. So it's a great opportunity for us, and we have the same flavor year round. We actually have those picked, processed, and actually frozen for us, just so we have the same flavor signature all year long.
Definitely.
So it's a great product.
Now, David, obviously this is a great place to come and eat anytime, but also receptions. I mean, I feel like this would be such a fun atmosphere to prepare for a wedding and do the practice run, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. With that, we already have actually three or four rehearsal dinners already scheduled for June and July of this year, and these are families from Texas that have ties to Lexington. You know, either the son or the daughter's here that they're getting married. So we do have people calling from Texas. Hey, I'm from Texas. I'm gonna send you an email. I really want to have the rehearsal dinner there. It's just a taste of home. Can you do this for us? And I tell you, I've already got a great response from the people in Texas. Even in Lexington, I've got people. Well, can you do this meeting? But it's the rehearsal dinners that people want. You know, we have the great appetizers. You know, we have the margaritas, of course, margaritas and beer, so it fits with our bar. And then also the desserts. They're wanting the tres leches cake instead of a wedding cake. So the tres leches cake is really a phenomenal item that we have too. So the rehearsal dinners for us in this room, the hubcap room, it'll fit perfect. You know, it fits up to 50 or 60 people. We can line it up. You can decorate it how you want, and we don't even charge for it. The only thing that we do request is the 20% gratuity. We do that in front, and that is charged to you whenever you have your party. So that 20% is kind of put in there for you.
Definitely. Well, one of the great things that, you know, it sounds like you are very authentic, or people from Texas would probably not want to touch it. So that's a great compliment to your food.
Yeah. Now, what's the approximate capacity in this room as well as the overall capacity throughout the whole restaurant? You
know, in this room, if we were going to do, say, like you said, a rehearsal dinner, if we were going to sit down and have dinner, have meals, probably looking at about 50 to 60 people. Now, if we remove the tables and it was just kind of a walk-around, greet, kind of a cocktail kind of time, probably looking at 75 to 80 people. Wouldn't be much room to sit down. So we kind of would like people to sit down and kind of relax at the tables.
Definitely.
Most people would anyway. But the entire restaurant, we sit close to 300 people.
Wow.
Including our garage, our bar area, and then all the dining rooms we have out here. Right now, this is the main dining room. You'll see our palm trees. These are all made from recycled material put together by a guy named Kwaku. He's from Belize, and he does those specifically for Chuy's. He cuts the metal, puts them all together, welds them, and he actually comes to every Chuy's and hand paints them. This is what we call our art room, obviously for all the art that we have on our walls.
I love this section.
It's from a gentleman down in Mexico, obviously. And as we pass by one of our booths here, this is our larger booth. We actually fit larger groups here from 8 to 9 people, and they have a really great time. It's kind of interesting for them because they like the comfort of the booth, but still the quaintness of a big party. So this is very popular for us too. Very popular.
I love all the wedding pictures back here.
Yeah. We have
very appropriate for the show.
This is what we call a camal. The camal is where we make hand make our tortillas. Ladies will hand roll them and hand press all of our flour tortillas and our corn tortillas.
Yeah, that's
and they're all made from scratch. You'll see them. as you look outside here, that's our garage area. That is very popular this time of year where it's a little bit warmer. And the area right now is our bar. We do have MJ behind the bar. She's a daytime bartender for us. Here pretty much every day through the week. So she's a little shy. She doesn't like talk too much. Not really. She talks all the time. She wants to
Most of the nights of the week, especially weekends, it's packed out here, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Through the week, almost every night of the week we go on a wait, but Friday and Saturdays we're just jam-packed from 5 o'clock at night till probably 9:30. So, and people love it. They just hang out and have a good time.
That's great. It sounds delicious.
It is.
Yeah, and tell everybody where your specific location is here in Lexington.
The specific location is just south of Fayette Mall, and I don't want to name drop, but of course we're right behind Bellinote, right next to Outback. So it's kind of that little service road back behind Nicholasville Road. So we're a little bit harder to get to, but honestly, people. They find a way. They find a way. So a lot of people don't know we're here. A lot of people drive by and they kind of see our restaurant, see our sign, and so
very bright.
Yeah, very good. Especially at night with all of our colors, and you can tell just by looking at the colors we have in here.
Yeah.
It's bright inside and out.
And the decorations here, you guys have kind of an affinity toward Elvis. What's the story behind that?
Well, back when we first started back in '82, our two founders, John and Mike, they only had just a little bit of money left, and they needed some things to fill some wall space in the bar. Well, they had $20, so they were going down the road, and they said, I'm going to buy the velvet paintings. One was of Elvis, one was of Stevie Wonder. So they put those up in the bar. And the Elvis one, people started, they had a little table, and that was our first nacho table. They just had chips and salsa. That's kind of where our nacho card came from. But what they did, the Elvis picture was on the wall. People would start bringing in Elvis memorabilia.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, it came to where they couldn't put chips and salsa on the table. It was all Elvis memorabilia, whether it was tickets, whether it was shot glasses, whether it was bobbleheads, dolls, whatever it was. They started loading the table. So they actually had to move the table. Well, eventually we grew out of that into a big shrine, big cabinet on the wall. And they still bring in things every day. Every restaurant gets something new. We actually have tickets to the Elvis concert. And I believe right before he died, the concert after he died, he was actually supposed to play in Rupp Arena.
Oh, wow.
So we actually have tickets in our Elvis shrine up front.
Never used.
Never used.
Wow,
Yeah. So,
that's incredible.
yeah. So that's kind of the history of the Elvis. It just took off from there. People, it wasn't us that decided to do it, just our guests. They grew it. It wasn't anything we did.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
Great. And do you guys accept reservations or call-ahead seating?
We don't do reservations or call-ahead seating. We will do for large parties, like in our hubcap room, much like a rehearsal dinner. We will take reservations for that Monday through Friday, but it is also discretionary based on the business.
So. Great. And if people need to call you, do you guys have a website here, or what's your phone number?
Sure. Our phone number here is 859-245-2489. It's 245-CHUY. And then also our web address is lexington@chuys.com. No apostrophe, just lexington@chuys.com.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for that information.
Sure.
And hey, if you want to have a reception here, come eat the food, try it. I'm sure you'll love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time
We appreciate it.
and the neat background stories.
Thank you.